Welcome to day one of the Coaching Leader Shift Sprint. It's all about creating ownership in your team. I'm Angela Cox, the founder and creator of Procedure 360, and I can't wait to take you on this journey to moving your leadership style to a coaching one. So let's get going. Most leaders believe that they are developing their team, and honestly, that's probably their intent. But if you look really closely, they're often doing the opposite. They're creating a team that relies on them. And it's not because the team isn't capable. It's often just occurred through the habit of how the leader responds in the moment. So let's look at it from your perspective. Think about this. Someone brings you a problem. You already know how to solve it. You've probably seen it before a million times, and so you say it. You give them the solution. You help them move forward. And it feels efficient and supportive, and it feels like leadership. And let's face it, it's quicker. But in that moment, it works and the problem gets solved. But something else happens as well. They leave with your thinking, not theirs. And the next time they get stuck, they come back to you again. This isn't about capability. Most of your team can think for themselves. We might say on the surface that it's about capacity. It's easier to do it yourself because everyone is busy. But actually, it's usually about safety for them and for you. For your team, if they bring you something half-formed, there's a risk. What if it's wrong? What if they get challenged? What if they look less capable? And so they learn that it's safer to get the answer from you. And then for you, stepping in solves something. You reduce the uncertainty. You keep things moving forward and you stay in control. And control feels safe. So even if you say you want ownership from them, your behavior says something different. It says, come to me and I will fix it. And this pattern forms. They defer, you step in, it works, and so it repeats. And over time, dependency on you becomes normal. So what's the shift? If you want a team that thinks for itself, you have to stop being the answer. And that doesn't mean stepping back completely. We definitely don't want full abdication. It means changing how you respond in the moment. Ownership is not handed over once, it's built moment by moment. So let's explore 3 practical ways to create ownership. First up, we really need to slow the moment down. When someone brings you a problem, your instinct will usually be speed. Answer, fix, move on. It's natural. You're a busy leader with a million plates spinning. But instead, slow it down. Say, talk me through how you're thinking about this so far. Then stay there. Let them work it through without interruption. Because this signals, I expect you to think, not perfectly, but independently. And notice if you feel the urge to jump in. Sit on your hands if you have to. If they're off track, don't criticize. Ask them to consider the impact of their proposed solution. Share what you think the impact could be if they can't see it, and then help them to rethink. The big watch out. Their way might not be your preferred way, but if it gets to the right outcome, accept it because that's the work. Now, the second thing is to give guidance, not answers. Leaders often think it's one or the other. Either I tell them what to do or I say nothing. It's actually neither. You can guide without taking over. So instead of, this is the way it needs to be done, try, what options have you considered? What feels like the best next step? What might you be missing? You're still involved, but you're not doing the thinking for them. It sounds simple, I know, but when did you last take the time to do it this way? It's actually quite difficult to relinquish control, but give it a go today. The third step is to ask your team member, if I wasn't here to ask, what would you do? When team members rely on you, they stop thinking for themselves. It's a bit like the cognitive switch off that happens when you rely on AI. Your brain stops thinking for itself. But for the most part, your people will know the answer. This simple question helps the brain kick into gear and helps you assess if your team member does know what to do. If they do know, have a conversation about trusting themselves to make the decision without asking you. If they clearly don't know, revert to step one and help them work it through. If they have an answer and it could be improved, share how you might approach it and then ask them to consider how they might refine the next step. Ownership is built when you stay present, when you support their thinking and you don't take over. When they hesitate, instead of stepping in, say, "Keep going, you're on the right track." You're building confidence and capability at the same time. Now, the real truth here, this isn't about remembering all the questions. This is about what you do when it feels uncomfortable, because it will. You will feel slower and less efficient, and you will feel the pull to step back in. And this is where most leaders revert. They go back to taking over, they move things forward, and the pattern continues. Because in the short term, stepping in does feel faster. And what they don't see is the longer term cost. The time you invest slowing this down will pay back. Not immediately, but it will do consistently. When you give over your power and stay with your team while they learn to use it, something starts to shift. They begin to think more before they come to you. They bring you options, not problems. And they take ownership without being asked. And before you know it, you no longer have to have the answer to everything. You've got space again. Space to think, space to lead, and space to focus on the bigger stuff. And your team, they're flying. Not because you've stepped away, but because you've led differently. Now, it's really important that you take care of you. So today, don't focus on your team, focus on you. Where do you feel the urge to step in? Where do you speed things up? Where do you take over without realizing it? Those are the moments that matter, and I want you to notice them. Tomorrow, we're going underneath behavior, because what you're seeing in your team is not always the full story. Download your pod sheet, go and have a go, and I'll see you tomorrow.